Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you a set of CCTV camera systems. So this is from a company called DIROOM. I found this on Amazon. You can get this for about £250. Now this one here comes with 4 spotlight camera wirelessly connected to kind of a tablet. I think a tablet is about 10.1 inch in terms of size. You still need wire to the power, but the data is connected to the tablet wirelessly. If you look at my playlist, I have reviewed a lot of CCTV camera. Some of them are completely wireless, like the DIROOM, which I use at home here. But this one here is kind of a budget version of those CCTV system. It still allows you to connect it to the internet, so you can review it on your phone. Each of the camera have two-way audio system, so you can actually talk to each of the camera. And it also acts as a security camera because motion detection, you can set it on siren, so it will make noise when it detects motion. And for those who like to install this on the outdoor, it also double up as a spotlight or floodlight. So we're going to find out how bright it is and does it really work in a real life situation. And I'm going to test the range as well. So they wirelessly connected to this tablet right here. It got antenna on each of the camera and the tablet, but how good is the wireless connection? So let's find out. My video is not scripted, and if you find my information useful, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to my channel. So packaging wise is like a briefcase. Everything is inside this box right here. Once you open the box, the first thing you will see is the actual CCTV. Ooh. I do like that feeling of peeling plastic. Very therapeutic. So this is the actual controller or tablet. Hard disk enclosure inside. This one have 1 GB of storage. It should be plenty. Aerial flip up on top. It has a built-in stand, so you pull out the plastic on the back and it kind of sits upright. Connection wise, you got USB port, so you can plug in your network cable into this one here. You got the external SD card and the power button, and it's powered by a 12-volt adapter. Okay, you got instruction manual right here. It's quite a thick piece of instruction manual, but good that they have a startup guide, just enough to set up and get the system running. And then you will find the 4 cameras right here. Now, like I say, each of them is a spotlight. Plastic casing, plastic mount, white in color. The construction looks quite okay, but I wouldn't leave it in direct rain. Make sure it is some kind of cover on top so that the rain doesn't directly fall onto it, because I just can't see how this will last, years to come in the elements. Each of these is a 3 megapixel sensor and powered by a 12-volt 1 amp power. And to power it, you got your normal power adapter. So if you already have existing CCTV camera which has power going into it, you can just replace it with the power. But it also comes with a Ethernet cable port. So if you do want to connect it via Ethernet, then you can. And you got 3 of these. Okay, the rest, the antennae, the adapters, couple of batteries for your mouse, some screws and wall plugs, and a short Ethernet cable. Sometimes you think, why do you need a display if you can just view it on your phone? I personally use the phone when I'm out and about, but I always missed, the old days CCTV where you have a kind of a monitor or a television attached to it, is always on. So when you're doing something, you glance the corner, you can see, the rest of the house. With your phone, you always have to log on and you have to, find the cameras that you want. But I'm going to show you both. But it would be nice always to have a display. So the adapter, because I'm in the UK, this comes with a 3-pin UK adapter. Now there is 4 cameras and 1 control unit. And the control unit uses a slightly different one. And this is 12-volt 2 amp. So slightly more power for the monitor. I think this is a bit weak because it's plastic. And the antennae kind of screw in on the back here. Oops. Quite typical. You got connector in the back here. a power inlet, Ethernet cable inlet. The mount with 3 screws, so you do need to screw it onto something. USB antenna, so this is a wireless mouse. Okay, so let's install the camera and show you guys what it can do. Right, so installing this camera, what you need to do is the antenna needs to be screwed on. I strongly recommend doing this part first, because once you mount it on the wall or on the ceiling, it's quite hard to do this after. Literally just align it, screw it tight, put it out of the way, and this is ready to mount. Now it can turn a little bit, and it can turn upward and downwards with this clamp loosen up. This is my last camera. I got 2 mounted over there and 1 at the back. You will see that later. And there are 3 mount holes for this, so I'm going to screw it down onto this piece of wood. Now, why do I screw it on this piece of wood, you might ask, but you will see that in a minute. I don't even use 3 screws. Okay, so let's say you're happy with this angle. You just tighten the joint and also tighten the ring here, and this will stop it from moving. And now this is ready to be used. I am going to use a portable power bank to power this particular one, because I want to take it outside and move around and see how far it will allow me to go before the signal gets cut off. Okay, so I got 3 cameras mounted and 1 camera mounted right here on top of my mobile power station. I will plug in the USB mouse here, and I'll plug in the Ethernet, and then I will plug in the power. A bit of a fan noise because there's a cooling fan built in, and it's now booting up the system. And at the same time, I'm going to start my power bank. Okay, you can see that now the power up, the camera, the flashlight came on for a little bit. Okay, so it says here, welcome to our configuration visit. It will help you to configure your basic. In the preview screen, click on the middle mouse button for quick access to the wireless configuration page. So that's why they give you a mouse, and you have to install your battery in, and then it will start to work. Go to next. It does kind of walk you through what you need to do. For example, they ask you to connect all the camera first, make sure everything is working before you mount it, especially hard to reach area. Time language configuration. So this is quite self-explanatory. You just need to set your time zone. At the moment, they say checking the network connection, so they're all in green, which is fine. Make sure your device connect to router. Yep, that's fine. So it's telling you that you got 1, 2, 3, 4 camera connected, and they have their own MAC code right there. So now you need to download the app, which should be quite easy. And it takes me to apps, to Apple Store. So the software is XMI Pro. So to connect your phone to the actual station, you right click, main menu, and then go to network. So when you do that, you get a QR code on the base unit, and then you just scan the QR code on the base unit, and your system should come up on here. Now I didn't say much about the base station so far because there's a bit of glare on here, so I need to move it. Now you can see it. If I make it slightly higher, yeah, it's just a camera angle at the moment. So yeah, all 4 cameras is showing up. Yeah, so now all 4 camera is already showing. Obviously this one here, because I mounted on the ceiling, so now it's upside down. Over here you got mirroring and overturn. So overturn means turn it upside down. Okay, so that will make your image correct, and then you go back. Now this is a full CCTV security system. So there is loads of stuff that you can adjust. Not just like, you know, plug and play, but if you do want to change the parameter, for example, if you think the camera is always in the bright spot and it kind of overblown details and such like that, you can actually change individual camera settings. And at nighttime, at the moment, is on smart alert. So at night, when it detects like motion and stuff like that, each of the camera you can set their own parameter, which is quite advanced. Now, for me as a end user, I don't usually touch any of these unless it's needed. But most clients, they just stick with the default setting. All right, so I have turned off the light here, so there's less glare. You should be able to see that is quite clear now. Now all 4 cameras in action at the moment. So I am just going to walk around, and you can see that the record button is on, so it should be recording everything that I'm doing right here. So let's say I want to see that part of my desk. So let me draw a rectangle, and then the little magnifying glass come up. If I click that, so it's enlarged it, I can still see quite a lot of details on here. I can see my drill bits. All right, so other cameras around. So this one gives me a view of the back of the room. Not bad. And of course, if you don't want to use a display, you can always use your phone, and your phone will give you exactly the same kind of function. I find it easier actually with this kind of a pinching action. This is not a touch screen, so that's why you need a mouse, but on your phone, let me make a big screen. A lot easier to manage. So let's say you want to view what you have recorded. I'm going to start on my phone because most people will use it on your phone like that. So it doesn't show you playback for full screen, only on individual channel. So you have to pick a screen that you want to look at. For example, I want to look at this one right here, and you go to playback. Now it shows you what is recorded during the timeline. So you can scroll to where you want to go. I'm just going to pick any particular sport, and then I'm going to turn on the voice. And you can change the speed of that as well. Yeah, at the moment, how we're doing this is using your network internet, transmit it to the server, and then from the server come back to the phone. So there is 2 ways of restriction on the speed. But let's say if I am using the tablet, so this one here, if I want to play back, so here it actually allows you to play all 4 cameras at once. You see a screen like this? And there will be a lot less lag because with this is actually playback on your screen, so there should be a lot less lag as such. And it's quite loud. I don't even know how to make it a bit quieter. Now, for me as an end user, I don't usually touch any of these unless it's needed. But most clients, they just stick. The basic function is kind of working out of the box. It's recording. I can play back on my phone. I can play back on the tablet. Now, definitely, if I have to find a theft or an incident on my camera, I will definitely use the tablet because you can view 4 screens at once, and it's a lot faster because you don't need to transmit anything through the internet down to your phone in order to view it. A typical of this kind of a small speaker, it does have a bit of distortion. You're not looking at hi-fi level, but the screen is clear enough to see what's going on, so I'm quite okay with the system so far. For the price of £250, I'm sure that you can do a lot worse. Is it the best system on the market? Definitely not, because you can pay up to, let's say, £500 to £1,000 for 4 cameras with a built-in DVR. We are all indoor at the moment, so they're all connected through the antenna wirelessly to this. Now is the time I'm going to take this one outside to the garden and walk as far as I can to see how far it can go before the signal drops. So for the next 5 to 10 minutes, I'm going to walking around holding my setup like this. I got my phone on top so I can see that I'm still in range. Obviously, if it gets cut out, then I know that it's been cut out. But I'm sorry if the video is a bit shaky. So from now on, I'm going to use the video from this particular camera, and I should be able to see on my phone while I'm working. So when it cuts out, then I know the limitation of the wireless device. Now there is a 1 or 2 second delay between the phone image and the camera. And the station is inside that room, so we have one wall or windows between us. And that's my workstation. Okay, so I thought that was quite fun, walking around with a mobile power station to see how far the camera can go. So basically, the recorded footage I managed to download on my phone. It went all the way to the end of my garden, which is almost to my kitchen. So the base station is inside the studio here, and I walk all the way down my garden. There's about 25 meters down there that way. Range-wise, I'm sure this will be okay. The closer to the base station, obviously, the better the connection. So I wouldn't expect to be able to be on 25 meters as such. But if you're going through another wall, so there might be a reduction on distance. But if it is just a single wall and window, I can show you that it works up to at least 25 meters. Now, the other thing I want to show you while I'm messing around with the system is that this one have a face detection system built in. So playback, and then go to face search. And then you set like what time do you want to search it for. I'm going to search the whole period on channel, is it channel 2? So that camera have recorded my face twice. If I click on it. So that's when I'm walking back with my mobile station. So for a brief second where the camera captured my face, it will record it. So it shortened the time that you need to go through all the videos of, let's say, on the back garden animals and stuff like that activation. It's a much quicker way to find what you need to find. Okay, now I'm going to test the nighttime capability of these cameras. I'm going to switch off all the lights. A couple of things happen here. So this camera went into black and white mode. Ooh, spotlight time on. So now the spotlight is on because it detected motion. So just now when it didn't detect motion, it was in black and white. If I turn the camera so you can see the spotlight right there. Okay, so if I try not to move, okay, I'm not moving right now. I'm not moving a muscle. And everything is recording in black and white. But as soon as I wave or move, and then the spotlight come up. Quite cool. I mean, it's quite bright in your eyes. So, you know, if you have intruder and it sets off the motion, and then you will see someone will be coming up quite quickly. Okay, just how bright is the spotlight, you might ask. So for example, I haven't changed any setting. I think you can change individual light, but on default, this is what happened. If I wave or move in front of the camera, and now it switch on. And if I move all the way back to the studio here, and you can see it lit up the whole room quite nicely. Even my DSLR cannot pick up any light, but as soon as I start walking, voila, and the lights turn on. I think with modern day CCTV, I do think they are pretty good. So you don't have to install a separate floodlight system. Alright, so that's all I have time for you today. Can't wait to see you next time with more interesting gadget. Bye bye.